in the United States, they bought in small lots and broke up the lots. Cousin goes one way, uncle goes another way, your child goes another way. In a month after coming over, you can't identify a single person who was on the boat with you. So though you are a slave among slaves, you were strange slaves. So they have done one thing against you that you got to piece back together. They've destroyed your loyalty system. They've destroyed your cultural continuity. It is hard for you to get your personality chemistry to match with other personality chemistries. You find yourself arguing about something you don't even know what you're arguing about. When we understand the difference between the African in Africa, the African in the Caribbean, the African in the United States, we will sit down and work out our differences and form a union and realize there's maybe 300 million Africans in the Western world, millions in Asia, maybe 750 million in Africa. We number 1 billion people on the face of the earth. Then why are we begging a frightened minority for space in the world when we are the owners of the most expensive piece of geography God ever placed on earth? I'm still on the subject. The subject is our Holocaust. What I'm trying to say is that what hit us unexpectedly tells you something about what is strong among us. And when you find the strength of a people, look on the flip side and you'll find their weakness. Our great strength is our humanity and our ability to be kind to strangers. Our weakness is that we have not had the political alertness to be suspicious of the stranger and ask, what is your intention in my house? There was a time when our families were more together, and when a young man wanted to court one of our daughters, he would have to come to the father and ask permission to call. On the third visit, the girl would be late. And the young man would be sitting in the living room with the father. The father, with the girl's interest at heart, has one question for that young man. Young man, what is your intention toward my daughter? And if he didn't get the answer he wanted, you went out of the door and the daughter continued to be late. You had less teenage pregnancy then, or probably none, because the authority figure in the home exercise his right and responsibility, thinning down the traffic to make sure you didn't pick up someone who wanted an overnight thrill and whose intention didn't extend beyond that. And you did not understand that the romantic marriage, as you know it, is a Western invention. And that's why it don't last. When you had the I respect you marriage as against I love you marriage, two families came together, two sets of cattle came together, and sheep and goats came together. It was an elaborate affair, not just between two people. It was coming together of a dynasty of a family. It settled walls. It brought villages together. And both sides had a support system. If anything happened, the support system came from both sides. All those uncles, all those cousins. Divorce wasn't a part of the vocabulary. And no one ever heard a wife beating. Can you imagine now? If you lift your hand, can you take on 50 cousins and 60 uncles? Now can you deal with all of that? Better take down your hand and think this matter over. Now, foreigners, fakers, and fools began to interfere with all of that to begin our Holocaust. What you do not understand is for 2,000 years before the first European set foot on African soil, our greatest difficulty came from Western Asia, mistakenly called the Middle East. This is the people I call the sandbox people. They came 2,000 years before the other people that I call the icebox people. Because the icebox people had a temperament among themselves. Ultimately, they turned on themselves. World War I, World War II was the icebox people turning on themselves. In Germany, a wild man named Hitler needed a scapegoat whose country had been made a scapegoat for being blamed for First World War. A scapegoat now needed a scapegoat. And one of the saddest things in the world is a scapegoat looking for a scapegoat. He looked around in Germany and saw some Germans seemingly more prosperous than some others, seeming to be dominating the trades, the communication, and the movies. And he saw some Germans who wanted the same jobs. Now, among